Democratic socialism is like a dating profile. Things look great until you meet up in the real world. For example, Bernie Sanders, his big thing was always bringing single-payer health care to our country of 340 million. But when liberal, tie-dyed Vermont tried to do it for a population of 626,000, it turned one of Latin America's richest countries into one of its poorest. Low wages, high inflation, shortages, outages, 8 million people fleeing. If you think New York can somehow reinvent this wheel, you're in for a rude awakening. Zoran can't make your wishes come true. You're thinking of Zoltar.
If you've ever watched someone try to microwave a frozen burrito still in its wrapper, you already understand how American democratic socialism usually ends. It starts with confidence, smoke pours out, and suddenly everyone pretends they totally meant for it to burst into flames. And this week, Bill Maher decided he'd finally had enough of the political kitchen disasters. So he grabbed the oven mitts, walked into the Democratic Party, and began roasting everyone in sight until the whole room smelled like burnt idealism.
Let's listen to the other big winner in last Tuesday's election, Virginia Governor-elect Abigail Spanberger, who, before the 24 election, said things like, if the party didn't shift to the center, we will get torn apart. And we need to never use the word socialist or socialism ever again. Well, she was right, but they didn't listen. Typical, am I right, lady?
He didn't tiptoe into the topic. He didn't warm up. He dropped into the conversation the same way your uncle drops into Thanksgiving. Loud, uninvited, and swinging opinions like baseball bats. And the moment he aimed those jokes at the woke wing of the party, you could practically hear every activist group refreshing Twitter, preparing their statements in real time. Maher's entire point was simple. America is flirting with socialism the same way people flirt on dating apps. Bold in the messages, terrified in real life.
Problem is, Gen Z thinks socialism's wired and capitalism's tired and billionaires are what's for dinner. And who can blame them? If you're 30 and still sharing a bathroom with roommates, capitalism isn't working for you. People will reject any economic system where there's strange hair on the soap. No one wants to be approaching middle age and still writing their name on food before they put it in the fridge. So they're quiet quitting capitalism and texting socialism that they're down to. Thing is, socialism will because socialism, to put it simply, just doesn't work and has never worked, like Kevin Federline.
On TikTok, it's all free this, free that, hearts, rainbows, and vibes. But the moment someone has to pick up the check, suddenly the enthusiasm disappears faster than your stimulus check in 2021. And Maher didn't hold back. He went after the new wave of self-declared democratic socialists, the ones who talk about economic liberation but can't explain basic math without opening notes on their phone. These are the folks who want government-run grocery stores, free buses, free housing, free college, free healthcare, free therapy, free emotional support animals, free everything except accountability. And Maher's take, if everything is free, the only thing actually free is the chaos. But the real punchline came when he brought up New York's new socialist-leaning leaders. Rumors online claim some of them want the state to become financially independent from the federal government, which sounds inspirational until you realize that's just political code for raise taxes so high, even pigeons would consider relocating.
Their platform, for example, calls for completely open borders. They're for what Biden was doing, but more. You think you're going to win an election on that? This just seems like more extremism at a time when Americans are begging both parties, please, could just one of you act normal?
Maher joked that U-Haul should have sent them a fruit basket for the business boost. The state is already losing residents like it's a reverse lottery, and apparently the solution is higher taxes, because nothing says stay here like making people pay extra to leave. Then Maher pivoted to the comparison that always makes socialists wince: Venezuela. Once rich, then wrecked so fast, you'd think the economy ran on Windows Vista. And he didn't exaggerate. Low wages, sky-high inflation, blackouts, empty shelves, 8 million people fleeing. The kind of conditions that make free stuff feel like a cruel joke, written by someone who never stood in a 4-hour breadline. Maher basically said, if you want to cosplay Venezuela, at least pick a country with working electricity. But he didn't stop there. He also dunked on the Gen Z crowd, the ones who think socialism is a brand new idea invented by people with septum piercings. They treat history like it's optional DLC, something you can purchase later but don't really need to play the game. Capitalism? Tired. Socialism? Wired. Billionaires? Dinner. But Maher pointed out the uncomfortable truth. It's easy to adore socialism when your biggest financial responsibility is Venmoing your roommate for pizza. Eventually, you grow up, get a job, pay taxes, and realize the government already takes enough money to buy a second pizza. And Maher's explanation for why socialism keeps flopping? Incentives. Under socialism, everyone's supposed to work equally hard. But in reality, half the population starts working like they're on airplane mode. Productivity collapses, innovation shrivels, and the whole system breaks down faster than the Wi-Fi at a progressive convention. Speaking of conventions, Maher dragged the 2025 DSA event where attendees had to submit a negative test. In 2025, when the rest of the country had moved on and was busy arguing about something entirely unrelated, like whether AI assistants are secretly plotting a coup, Maher called it cosplay authoritarianism. And honestly, it fits. The rule sounded less like a safety measure and more like someone desperately trying to relive their favorite pandemic moments. Like, hey, remember when bread making was cool? Let's do that again. Then came Maher's favorite target, the split in the Democratic Party. One side screams, never call us socialists, while the other side basically shows up wearing a Che Guevara hoodie, asking if redistribution comes in XL. According to Maher, trying to win elections like this is the political equivalent of two people trying to drive one car with two separate steering wheels. One pulls left, one pulls far left, the car crashes. Both blame capitalism. He also pointed out that moderates keep winning in places where the left insists radicals are the future. 13 Democrats won in Trump districts, every one of them moderate. Meanwhile, the socialist candidates lost so hard, their concession speeches practically auto-deleted. Polls show more than half the country doesn't want socialism. Yet some factions of the party keep doubling down like gamblers who swear their luck is just about to turn around. Maher's frustration is pretty simple. Voters are not begging for extremes. They're not asking for government-run grocery stores or open borders or tax plans that require a calculator and a therapist. They want normal. Not TikTok normal, actual human normal. The kind where your groceries aren't rationed and your rent doesn't come with a side quest. And to Maher, if Democrats keep ignoring the voters, they'll keep losing. Worse, they'll keep handing Republicans golden opportunities to make attack ads that practically write themselves. Candidate X wants to replace your supermarket with a government-run facility where you wait in line for 3 hours to buy a single onion. It's political gold, maybe not good for the country, but fantastic for anyone in the ad business. Maher wrapped his monologue by warning the party, pretending socialism is some fresh, misunderstood idea won't fix the fact that it keeps crashing like a cheap drone. It attracts idealists, sure, but it also collapses under the weight of human behavior. Cut corners, lose incentives, rinse, repeat. History's already run this experiment multiple times, with the same result every time. Broken economies, fleeing citizens, and politicians pretending they have no idea what went wrong. And that's the beauty of Maher's roast. He didn't attack compassion. He attacked delusion. He attacked the fantasy that socialism is just one good leader away from finally working, when the track record looks like a highlight reel of disaster. His message was simple. Be idealistic, be compassionate, be forward-thinking. But stop trying to reinvent a system that has repeatedly face-planted. So here's the reality check he left the audience with. If Democrats want to win, they need to act normal. Not Twitter normal, not DSA convention normal. Normal. But if they keep chasing the dream of free everything forever socialism, the only free thing they'll actually get is a one-way ticket to losing every major election. And that's where the story leaves us. A party at a crossroads. One direction leads to reality. The other leads to cosplay economics. The clock is ticking and the voters are watching. If you made it this far, hit that like button like you're swatting away a bad economic policy. Drop a comment with your take. Is the left about to wake up, or are they boarding a one-way flight to Venezuela 2.0? I read everything you post, even the spicy ones.